Hey, Kugana, how are you? How are you? How are you? Okay, this is gonna be quick. I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Whoever is here, if you do drop down, please hit the like and share the video. Share the video. I'm gonna try to keep this. I should have just titled it PSA. Um, so I wanted to take a minute and talk about panel killers. What are panel killers? What do I mean by YouTube panel killers? I'm talking about if you go to like your favorite show, you go to like your favorite content creator or just any content creator and you are over there and you are listening to the content. You are really hi TRX. How are you? It's going to be quick because I have some live to go watch. So, I started because I want to leave this here and people can watch the replay, right? I wanted to take a minute and talk about panel killers, right? Okay. Panel killers, it's good to define what panel killers are, right? When I talk about panel killers, we're talking about people that maybe hit the panel while a show is already going on and they kind of change the mood. Hi, you gotta chill. They kind of change the mood, or like panelists that are up there, they like they're part of the show. So it is good to have good panel etiquette, right? It's good to have good panel etiquette because a panelist can derail the show. A panelist can kind of change the mood. A panelist can pretty much mess up the show. Hi, Lisa J. How are you? Hi, Chef. How are you? Hey, Bobby. So I wanted to talk about just do like a short little clip or video on what I feel like panelists should have when they're up there because you are part of the show. And remember, it's not just when someone is doing the live that the panelist is important. Also, you have to think about the people who watch it on the replay, right? You also want them to enjoy, unless you're going to go back and edit your live and all of that, right? And edit whatever out. So, hi, Nurse KQ, how are you? Welcome. So it is good to have good panel etiquette, right? There are people that you love seeing when they you love enjoy like to enjoy when they're on the panel. There are also people who um kill the panel, right? So what are some of the qualities that people should have? This is just my opinion, okay? This is not by any means any rule. That's just from my observation, watching so many different sectors, and every sector I go to, I feel like the same rule applies, right? And just like when you're watching a show, it's the same thing, right? It adds to part of the enjoyment. Hi, Miami Popo. Hi, Bread Truck. Okay, so this is gonna be quick. I'm gonna try to keep it under 10 minutes. Okay. So, I feel like panelists should be able to read the room, right? That's one of the most important things, right? If you're hitting the panel, right? Especially, let's talk about just YouTube, right? Because we're on YouTube. If you're hitting the panel, by the time you go click the link, you miss part of the conversation, but it's a very short amount of time, right? That you miss what's going on as you're trying to navigate, like turning on whatever, like all the fussing to hit a panel, right? And then you're backstage before you're brought on the show. When you get on the stage, right? Panel etiquette. Greet the people on the panel. Greet the host, right? It's the same thing like people in the chat. You can't drop down and don't say hi to the host, right? You may not like the host. Maybe you came to see your friends or your chat buddies or whatever, but just be at least pleasant and greet the host of the show because you wouldn't be there if not for the channel holder or the host, right? Hey Vegas, how are you? Hey 100K, how are you? Greet the host and then proceed to, greet whoever, talk to your buddies if you don't even care about the topic. But the main thing is greet the host. The same applies to the panelists. Be courteous. It doesn't mean that you're too friendly. Some people are mean, right? When you're cordial by, being pleasant and saying hi, they think that, you owe them something or you're asking for something, right? If anything, at least greet the host, okay? The person, that the channel holder. right? Okay. Read the room, read the panel, right? What are they talking about, right? Know how to pick up on the cues. Obviously, you're not like randomly not listening to the thing and just hitting a panel just because you see a link, right? That is why I'm writing this. Oh, yes. Hi, boo. How are you? You gotta chill. Said, I say, always say shout out to the host. Yes, it's just, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just a proper etiquette, right? It's a proper etiquette. It's just like when we listen, sometimes it can be too much. Let's say we go to one chat, right, and we all are there, right, and we say hi to each other, then that live ends, and then we go to another chat and we see each other again, and you don't have to, but it's a nice thing. It's just being courteous, right? Okay, so scan the chat. Sometimes, listen, if you know the chat doesn't like you or whatever, sometimes it's good to like keep your eye away from the chat. If you're in a hostile place, there's some places that you go to, I mean, you know how they get down, right? And at that time you want to focus, especially if you're doing an interview, right? If you're doing an interview or whatever, I can understand, don't get distracted and read the chat. But I'm saying, like, when you come in, pick up the cues from the panelists, pick up the cues from the host, pick up the cues from the chat. You can always find out what's going on in the chat. The only time, because the chat can go left and drag people. So you don't want to be, if you're doing an interview, you don't want to be reading the chat if you're being dragged. So I get that part, right? But I'm just saying, hey, Dr. Lashanya, how are you? Welcome. Hey, Natasha Phillips, how are you? Welcome. So when check the temperature of the room, just like when you walk in real life. Scan the chat. Do they like you? Do they not? If they don't like you, close the chat. Don't read the chat, but stay on topic, right? Just be aware of what is going on. Gauge the opinions or whatever. It's not saying like, do groupthink and have the same opinion as the people on the panel, but just gauge what the people are talking about. Check everybody's temperature, right? And especially the host, right? You can't read the room if you spend most of the time talking. Damn it. Stop talking. Stop talking, please. And I know sometimes in some chats it gets a little what's the word? It gets a little, people are trying to get out their points because they want to get their opinions heard. And sometimes you can't get your opinion, and so you just start talking. It makes it very difficult to hear. The people that are listening can't hear. The people on the replay can't hear. The host and the other panelists probably can't hear if people are over talking each other. So state your point and then stop and let the other people talk, right? And then if you're talking and not listening, how can you accurately, like, be engaging in the conversation? Hey, you could never, how are you? You cannot engage in the conversation if you are not listening and you spend your time over talking. Okay. So people get frustrated with that, and it kind of kills the vibe of the people on the panelists. People leave the chat, people on the replay. Like, I know a lot of people listen to my stuff on replay, right? People listen on the replay, they can get frustrated. The same thing, just like when it's live. If you can't understand what's going on, what the heck, you're not gonna listen, right? So people close the app and just walk away and maybe come back, or maybe just don't come back. I know you gotta chill. I know, but listen, I thought it was worth doing a short little clip to talk about it, because my gosh, I know for me, I don't really I don't say anything or try to be antagonistic unless a person like addresses me, right? I just usually will click out. I'm always listening to multiple stuff anyway. But if you can understand, and then especially for me when I take clips and then I go back and listen to it, it's like, oh no, you can't even hear. Or people are in my comments saying, what are they saying? You can't hear. They're all yelling or they're all over talking each other, right? So that's the replay part. The replay part of it is not good. Hi, Abusive You Boob. How are you? Um, yeah. So, I know it's not gonna it's not gonna change anything, but I mean, it's worth saying and suggesting. Okay. Um, and then, okay, so I talked about, try to, state your point and then go on mute, right? You can't also hit the panel with all that background noise. If you are driving and you have your windows down, if you're in, like, in a loud, a place with loud noise, um, you want to make sure you talk and then mute, or try to find a quiet place and then mute when you're not talking. Hey, Tanari, how are you? Hi, Nisi Boo, how are you? Welcome. Okay, so and then, okay, I don't know about you guys. This part, coming on the panel, and let's say it's like maybe an hour in or maybe 45 minutes. Now, I know some people have the red ball thing on, and that's when they have the DVR off and you can't like rewind, or like start from where to, like try to put to see what you miss. And some people will hit the panel and then they want to stop the show and ask, oh, okay, can you fill me in? What were you talking about? I wasn't listening. Can you tell me what's going on? And then it's like the show has to, if you've missed an hour, red ball that sucker back, please. And don't make the host and the other panelists try to download all the information that happened in the past hour. Now, if the host decides to do it or other panelists decide to do it, yes. Oh my gosh, that irks me. It's like we all have to wait and hear the same stuff. And imagine if like two people hit the panel at different times and they want you to fill them up. No, red ball the sucker back and listen to it, okay? It's just proper etiquette, right? And I feel like sometimes that's what causes a lot of these like long shows, right? Because people come, either they derail or you spend time having to explain. If you don't know the topic, don't join, or at least listen and make sure you understand the background or whatever before you hit the panel, because the people on the panel help make the show, right? Damn it, phone rang. My phone rang. Can you guys still hear me? I'm glad I don't have the earpiece because that definitely would throw it off. All late, loud, and wrong. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Right. So I would say, try, if they don't have the red ball, just what I do is, if they don't have, if the red ball is on, I will scan the chat, right? Because the chat is like, read the chat. Whoever doesn't read the chat, you don't know what you're missing. Read the damn chat. Okay, I'm not talking of the panelists, because I just said there are times where, like, if you're doing an interview, you don't always have to read the chat, especially if the chat is negative. That can distract you. But aside from that, the chat is part of it. Read your chat also, channel holders. Try to read the chat, because there are questions that are being asked. The chat is also engaging, and a lot of times you could ask questions and the chat is filling you in on what's going on, right? So okay, so the coming on the panel and asking for a recap, especially if you've missed like an hour, I can understand 15 minutes. That's not a big deal, right? And if the host wants to do it, they can do it. For me, yeah, I would do it. But if it's been an hour, child, you better red ball that sucker. And I might give like a really high level bullet points, but that's it. You can't, like, if you've missed an hour, there's a whole lot of things that happen in a whole hour, okay? And just know how to read the room. Read the room. If you're on a panel with a bunch of panelists, or some people are cammed up and you are acting a certain way, or you're not behaving, like, check the cues of the people on the panel. Watch facial expressions, right? Gauge the look on people. Are people rolling their eyes? I mean, I think that is like emotional intelligence of being around other people. You kind of have to have, what did they call emotional intelligence? Is your EQ, being able to pick up cues from the host, from the people on the panel. Hi, Mafibu, how are you? Hi, OG Jamal, how are you? When you be going off, you I know, I know. And then I'm like behind, right? And then I try to like read it, right? Because when I'm going up, it's like I'm not reading because you don't want to read the chat and get distracted. So I get it, right? When you are, going off and your focus, you're just going off and you're not looking at the chat, and then you're like, oh crap, wait, I'm so behind, let me read the chat. Okay. And then you read the chat and you see that, oh damn, I missed some of these things, right? Yes, I understand that part, but it's always good. I think that that's like an art, right? To host and read the chat at the same time and keep up with the chat and engage with your chat. Hi, Heavy Bear. How are you? Um, okay. So I talked about it. Yeah, get the cues of the people who are cammed up. If people are cammed up, like watch facial expressions and people, like get an emotional intelligence. Like you just don't want to be up there like just running your mouth and not checking the cues. You don't know if other people on the panel want to talk, and you don't know if people in the chat are asking the host questions, but the behavior for whoever is the is the panel killer is kind of derailing everything, right? Wait, what did you say? You said his view's bad with it. Because I like when she goes up, when she's coloring and she's cussing out and she's like talking and telling us what's going on and asking questions and cussing people out. I like it. I like it because then I'm laughing. And then at times I don't want to laugh too much because I don't want her to see all the laughing emojis. So, um, okay. So that's that. Get emotional intelligence. Manage your damn emotions on the damn panel, right? Because if you come there with all the rah 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 and everybody's all calm, that's gonna change the mood of the panel. That's gonna change everything. Okay. Who are some of the panel killers that I shouldn't be saying that word? Panel. Should I call them panel unalivers? Damn, I've been on here for 18 minutes. I said I was gonna make it 10 minutes. I was trying, like I normally talk fast. I was trying to like, say my point, really fast. Okay. If somebody eyebrow go up is right, they're raising their eyebrow because it's like they're thinking about what was said or they don't agree. Or if listen, if someone says something, sometimes if I'm camped up and I don't want to laugh, I want to laugh, but I don't want it to be seen. I have to quickly go on mute and turn off the camera. Has the host or the people on the panel turn off their camera that are cammed up and gone on mute? What do you think that means? That probably usually means something. That usually means something. Pick up on the cues, okay? Manage your emotions, right? I get people get drunk and all of that stuff, but you come on there drunk and belligerent and just yelling and kind of like derailing the show. Are there some people that we know that do such things? I can think of a few. Can you? Just over there. I know maybe it's all part of the show. You can say that that's all part of the show. And I guess to some extent when it's entertaining, but it depends on what was being talked about, like what the topic is before the show got derailed, right? Um, okay, so I talked about the background, like all the background noise, mute your mic and all of that stuff. Okay. Um, okay, so then I would say like the last thing I want to say, the people who jump on the panel and they want to completely change the subject, right? They have like their own agenda and maybe they just heard like some part of the conversation, or maybe they were in like another chat and heard something about the host or people in the panel or whatever, and they jump on that panel and completely come to change the topic, right? I feel like that's also some of the stuff that makes some of the shows longer, right? Because you have an agenda, you have something to talk about. And then, unless, like it's an open panel, right? If it's an open panel, sure. Open panel means anyone can hit the panel, like any topic, whatever, right? Um, yes, she does. She does make me want to laugh in color. Um, so the people that interrupt and change the topic. That's it. So can you guys please, the panelists, and then oh, I was gonna say there's something else. Please do not come on the panel to announce somebody else's live. I think that is the rudest thing, because what's that going to do? Especially if it's like people fighting, right? Or dragging each other. If you come in a chat or on a panel, like at least if you're on a panel, right? You can put it in the back chat, right? If you just want to let the host or other panelists know something, right? If it's something that's going to add to the topic, you can put it in the back chat. But in the chat, in the main chat, please don't come in the main chat and announce someone else's live. It's rude, because then you're going to take the people's crowd. People are nosy. I know I'm nosy. If someone says, oh, this person is live, and we know that they're beefing, or we know that there's something going on there, guess what we're going to do? We're all going to click over there to go see what's going on, right? That's what's gonna happen. Okay. That is it for my listen. I'm keeping it under 25 minutes. It's short and sweet. Very rude, right, Nisi? Yeah. And Lisa J, yep. And Tacky. And yes, you gotta chill. Very annoying, right? Because if something's going on big, I'm out. Exactly. Right? Exactly. And guess what? There was a live that was going on earlier today, right? And they were talking in codes, and that's why it's good if you're on a panel. If you see that, they'll do the back chat. That's the proper way to do it. They don't say anybody's name. That way you keep your audience. If it's something that will add to the show, you talk about it, right? You don't say the name, because you don't want people in your chat running over there. And that way it doesn't distract anything, right? Because there's some fights going on right now. You guys know what's been going on for certain people. We got recordings. We got Tisa jumped out the window. Tisa is like, here I am. And so we are all like, our notifications are on. Okay, anyone say Tisa is like, what? Tisa is live, huh? Did you say Tisa? Tisa is out on the porch. Hi, Lee Q, how are you? He says out on the porch, right? So we're like, huh? Anything that happens is like, wait, what's going on? Okay, this person's live. This person, they're all fighting. Listen, let me tell you, like, the girls are really fighting. Okay, they are fighting. I put on my wall that the girls are fighting. Okay, since I'm done with my PSA, so let me tell you who is fighting. When I said the girls are fighting, okay, over in the Mode 3 sector, well, they're still fighting. I talked about it last night. Chanel and Isha, 88 and SD and Big Baby, and I don't know who else, right? Skoka and Shay are still going back and forth. And the beef sector, oh my gosh, Deanna Irvin was doing a 3-for-1. Okay, Deanna Irvin was dragging. Hi, Nina Boo, how are you? The record. Chanel said last night she was gonna play the recording. However, Chanel did drop a short on her channel last night. It was, if you go in her shorts, you will see it. I think it's still there. She did address Tisa. Tisa went live yesterday also. I don't know if Tisa went live today. No, she hasn't. Eyes Dovey, oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, hold on. Back in the day, that would get you blocked. Yes, exactly, because that's kind of rude. Tisa was throwing blows, and so I was listening to Sean Bradley's replay, because he's in Australia, so the time different. I woke up this morning. I think that was the first live that I saw. That was the first replay, that I saw. So we're all like watching. Okay, Deanna and Fi are going back and forth. Deanna was dragging my Lovely. What did Lovely do? I don't know what Lovely. I must have missed a live. Oh, I think when I arrived at Deanna's live, I arrived late and Lovely had already left because she was talking about love. I don't know what happened. Something must have happened between Deanna and Lovely, because Deanna was dragging Lovely and Deanna was dragging Nessie Pooh. Nesipu was fighting with Pizarro. Nesipu doxed Pizarro's alleged husband, and um, so the girls are definitely fighting. Okay, let me look at this. Okay, Isaac said, I love YouTube cameras, but you said one of my though. You said, but one of my mods is a complete panel killer and thinks anyone who doesn't like her. Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about. Okay, you heard about the short. Yeah, Nina, that's the only thing that's out. I don't. Chanel. I think Chanel posted she's gonna go live later, but Tisa has been dropping receipts on her wall. Chanel's been right. Both of them. Just listen, you guys. If you don't if you don't keep up with the community tabs, check the community tab, because sometimes people will not do a video and it's just quick for them to go post receipt or do whatever on their community wall. I know yesterday Tisa, I think she started out posting stuff on her community wall, then she went live, right? So yes, that is it. Hi, Ghetto Intellect, how are you? All the Smoke said, if I ever cross Deanna, I'll just man, Deanna was dragging. I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell? Deanna was dragging. And one of the lives, she had a live this morning. I went in there and I looked, and that's the live that she was dragging this, and Lovely Love. And then the previous live, it was a short live, she was dragging Fi Babe. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Nisi said, I enjoy Tisa's fashion sense, but honestly, Tisa was throwing the word bitch. That's all. Yeah, she's into fashion and stuff. Yes, I talked about that last night. If you missed my live last night, because Tisa did 2 lives last night, right? Tisa did 2 lives, and I was like, the first live was confusing because I didn't know who she was talking to, right? I didn't know it was like she was talking to 2 people and she didn't have a name. And some of it I knew she was talking to Pizarro, and some of it I felt like she was talking to Chanel. But she did a second live, and then she was saying intels, right? So obviously that's Pizarro, right? Pizarro's supporters are intel. So that live, yes, you can tell. But for people who don't know who the intels are, they wouldn't understand who she's talking to. But in the second live, I believe she said Chanel's name or whatever. Chanel did say she's gonna play the recordings, but she's not in the beef sector, and she's been playing the stuff relating to the Mo 3 sector. So we'll see if she plays it tonight. So exactly, 100. You know who I'm talking about? No, nobody's. Yeah, I mean, I know who you're talking about. Everybody is entitled to feel how they want to feel. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. You gave her the business right back. Okay, I get you. All right, so I thank you guys for stopping by. This was gonna be a quick and short and sweet. I'm going to go back and watch Fi. Obviously, it was interesting. Fi, I was in the clouds. I was listening to Fi give her breakdown of the whole Tisa and Pizarro situation. So that was kind of interesting. Triple Red was live, and Triple Red gave his take on that whole situation as well. So you can check that out. Pizarro obviously responded last night. And then who else? Lady Nika was live. Bree was live earlier. So if you missed that, check all those lives out. Yes, we didn't know. I thought she was talking about pizza too, but I picked up. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much. If you missed it, red ball it back to the beginning. It's short. It's 30 minutes, and I kept it short. I just did like a quick how to. Is it a quick how to? Whatever. Just like PSA, helpful pointers on how to behave on a panel, how not to derail a show. just based on my take and observation, it's not like I'm an expert and stuff. I'm sure that there's more stuff that people could add to it. But anyway, hi, Mike Lewis. Um, all right. Thank you, guys. Mike Lewis, red ball it back because I'm leaving. But thank you for dropping by. Hit the like on your way out if you didn't hit it when you came in, okay? I will see you guys in these YouTube streets, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.